Go to Romans chapter 12 or 13. Is it 13 or 12? It can't be 12. So go to Romans chapter 13. Right, Jamar?
Yeah.
That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, man. Let every soul.
This is Romans chapter 13, verse 1.
Let every soul be subject unto the higher powers. For there is no power but of God. The powers that be are ordained of God.
All right, so he said, let every soul be subject to the powers, because there is no power except God, and the powers that be are ordained of God. God put them there. Let them go. Keep going.
Whosoever therefore resisteth the power, resisteth the ordinance of God, and they that resist shall receive to themselves damnation.
So what's going to happen? And you doing all this protesting to these people. Keep going.
For rulers are not a terror to good works, but to the evil. Wilt thou then not be afraid of the power? Do that which is good, and thou shalt have praise of the same.
So if we stop sinning, what's going to happen?
We'll be all right.
He's gonna tell these people to leave us alone. He's the one that's in control. Not no Obama, not no, any Bushes, not no any of the other stuff. They're not in control. They don't even have control of what they're doing. They shut it. They can't even say what they want to say. They don't have no control.
Go to Isaiah. We talk about Assyria.
We just keep reading for me real quick.
Where was I?
Should have been verse what, 4?
Okay, 5.
5.
Wait, 4. Anyway. For he is the minister of God to thee for good.
All right, so he's the minister of God to thee for good, but
if thou do that which is evil, be afraid, for he beareth not the sword in vain.
So what did we do? Did we do good or evil? Evil. Right? You have Eric Garner. They accuse him of selling cigarettes. Right? Do you think he was a sinner or he is a righteous man? Probably a sinner. We don't know for sure. He is probably a sinner, right? Probably standing out there a sinner. Probably just got done cussing. He probably ain't doing what they accuse him of doing. Probably just got done cussing, right? Smoking weed, whatever. We don't know, but he probably is a sinner, right? Probably a sinner. So him probably being a sinner, if God chooses to let them do that to him, is God just? God just, right? They say Mike Brown was, high on weed. They say he had THC in his blood. So if that's true, then we know he is a sinner. So, even though according to their law, they wasn't supposed to shoot him down, They say he might have stole some cigarellos. That probably ain't true. But whatever the case is, it's nothing for them to shoot him down for. But if God chose to let them do that, is that just? We don't get handled according to their system. We get handled according to God's system. So God will raise up, even we got rid of every white cop, guess what? The Mexicans will start killing us all. And after we get rid of all the Mexicans, then we're going to start killing each other. After we get done, we make peace with all each other. Then Europe going to come over here, retake America, and start killing us off again and put us back into slavery. We can't get off from under this man's rule because he's trying to get us to turn and do good. We're going to get the harder punishment. It goes to who first?
The Jew.
And then to who?
Gentile.
They got to see us get beat up first. They have to. That's the only way it's going to work. All right, keep going. What else we got here?
Wherefore ye must needs to be subject, not only for wrath, but also for conscience.
We heard it all. Let's go to Deuteronomy chapter 28. It's Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 30.
Thou shalt betroth the wife, and another man shall lie with her.
He said, we're going to betroth the wife, and another man is going to lie with her wife. Keep going.
Thou shalt build a house, and thou shalt not dwell therein.
All right, we're going to be building houses that we don't sleep in.
Thou shalt plant a vineyard, and shall not gather the grapes thereof.
We're going to end up making plants, and we're not going to gather the fruit out of it.
Thine ox shall be slain before thine eyes, and thou shalt not eat thereof.
We're not going to eat out of our own ox.
Thy donkey shall be violently taken away from before thy face, and shall not be restored to thee. Thy sheep shall be given unto thine enemies, and thou shalt have none to rescue them.
Correct. Stop touching that. Keep going.
Go sit against that wall over there.
Thy sons and thy daughters shall be given unto another people, and thine eyes shall look and fail with longing for them all the day long.
Right? He said thy sons and thy daughters going to be doing what?
Given away to another people.
So now our sons and daughters are going to end up being given away to another people. When did this happen?
A long time ago.
Who is this talking about?
The Hebrew.
So if this is talking about the Jews, the Hebrews, and we have Gentiles that call themselves, if they Jews, right? These Gentiles, if they Jews, then when did this happen to them?
Mm-hmm. It was Paul, wasn't it?
Yeah, we know when it happened to Hebrews. When did it happen to the Ashkenazi Jews, right? To the people who wear the big black hats and the suits and with the big noses, typically. With the last name, what's one of their last names?
Goldstein, Steinberg, Rosenberg.
Yeah, when did it happen to them? Never, right? We can go through all these things. This is our DNA. They constantly get DNA tests to try to prove who they are, right? Constantly. What other people? When have you ever seen the Japanese people make a national movement to get DNA to try to prove that they Japanese? The Chinese people. When have you ever seen there as a national thing for them to prove that they Chinese? But these Jewish people, right? The people in Israel, they constantly are trying to prove that they're Jewish. I wonder why. No other people does that. Because it's us. The oracles were given to us. Right? And that's why these things that we read here, these things happen to us. Right? Keep going.
And there shall be no might in thine hand.
He said there will be no what?
Might in thine hand.
I mean, but what if we got protesters out on the street, though? Yeah, surely God left a clause in there. I'm positive the next part of this sentence is going to be telling us unless. There should be no might in thy hand unless.
The fruit of thy land and thy labor shall a nation which thou knowest not eat up, and thou shalt be only oppressed and crushed always.
So we're going to be given away to another people, it told us, right? Then he said the fruit of our land is going to be eaten up by who?
A nation which thou knowest not.
So now another nation is going to be eating the fruit in our land. Does this sound accurate? Mm-hmm. Where are we at right now? Oh, no, hold on. Let's read the next part. What does he say after that? We're going to be only what continuing?
And thou shalt be only oppressed and crushed always.
Right? So now always we're going to be oppressed and crushed. Meanwhile, this is after we are given away to another people. And meanwhile, the fruit of our land going to be eaten up by another nation. So now we're oppressed continually, right? Continually oppressed in this land, while we have people who call themselves Jews in our land eating up our fruit. What other people? Keep going.
So that thou shalt be mad for the sight of thine eyes, which thou shalt see. The Lord shall smite thee in the knees.
No justice, no peace. No crooked police. They mad from the side of their eyes. Breaking windows, looting stores, little kids throwing rocks. It's outrageous. What's going on? Keep going.
The Lord shall smite thee in the knees and in the legs with a sore botch that cannot be healed, from the sole of thy foot unto the top of thy head.
You know it's related to diabetes? First of all, you know that we're one of the highest in diabetes, right? You know it's related to diabetes? Gangrene. You know what happens? Your leg rots. Sometimes they got to cut that thing right on off. Used to happen a lot to our people. Keep going.
The Lord shall bring thee and thy king, which thou shalt set over thee, unto a nation which neither thou nor thy fathers have known, and there shalt thou serve other gods, wood and stone.
Yeah, that's why we got Jesus pieces. Right now they got the stone ones and the wood ones. Right, you also got the gold and the silver, the platinum ones too. If you real bad, keep going.
And thou shalt become an astonishment, a proverb, and a byword among all the nations, whither the Lord shall lead thee. Thou shalt carry much seed out into the field, and shalt gather but little in, for the locust shall consume it. Thou shalt plant vineyards and dress them, but shalt neither drink of the wine nor gather the grapes, for the worm shall eat them. Thou shalt have olive trees throughout all thy coasts, but thou shalt not anoint thyself with the oil, for thine olive shall cast shall cast his fruit.
All right, watch this. Go to 1 Peter. We're going to hold there. We're going to come back to Deuteronomy. I'm pretty sure we're not going to be done. We just got started in a weird place. Let's see. Let's go to 1 Peter chapter 3.
For he that will love life and see good days, let him refrain his tongue from evil and his lips that they speak no guile.
All right. He's quoting. All right. He's quoting here. I think he's quoting Psalm. I can't remember what it is. I want to say Psalm 80 something, but I could be wrong.
Say 34:12 here.
Oh, well, that's probably what it is. Keep going.
Let him eschew evil and do good. Let him
right.
speak peace and ensure it.
Mm-hmm.
For the eyes of the Lord are over the righteous, and his ears are open unto their prayers. But the face of the Lord is against them that do evil.
So now we know why the Gentiles wouldn't have heard. Right? See, the righteous, his eyes and his ears are open to us. He hears us because we hear him. Right? But all those who do evil, he's against us. He don't hear us. So now let's think about this. No justice, no peace. Right? We doing all this. We making a whole lot of noise. Some of them even good Christians out there. Right? They're not breaking no window because they're good Christians. They're good Christians out there. Right? Walking around trying to encourage the youth to be nonviolent. They saying prayers. They having committees. They getting together. So what does God hear if they not righteous? Right? I mean, if it's like, everybody sins. That's just what happened. You wake up in the morning, you don't really know what you're going to end up doing. That's why I just say a prayer as soon as I get up. God, what I'm about to do, what I might do, or what I might have did, you cover me, Lord, with the blood of Jesus. Right? And then you walk out the door, and now you cover for your whole day. I just pray your covering over you for this whole day. Where do they get this stuff from? Covering for the whole day. So it just expires. Right after that, it's just like, oh, that's a 12-hour. I got a 12-hour covering. Where does it come from? Right? But this is the things that we taught. It makes sense to us that we don't know any better. So now these good Christians out there doing this, God doesn't hear their prayers. In fact, his face is against them. So our situation doesn't change. Right? Whether it's Baltimore, whether it's Ferguson, whether it's Watts back in the 60s, maybe, I guess 70s, right? Whether it was Detroit, I think in the 90s, right? Whether it was, who else had a big old riot? Whether it was,
Barbershop.
huh?
Barbershop.
What?
They had a riot.
I'm talking about cities. But yeah, anyway, it's almost every 10 years we have a big riot, right? So all these big old riots that happen, nothing changes. And I wonder why. Because not meant to. Because the Most High said, he already set up the parameters. He said, well, I hear you when you hear me. Right? When you walk by me, I'll walk by you. You don't walk by me, I'm not walking with you. Period. So all this noise we're making is not being heard. It's not being heard at all. Let's keep going. I said I wasn't going to talk about this Baltimore stuff. Go to Jeremiah chapter 9.
Hold Job. Or Peter.
Oh, we do got to go back to Job. Let's leave Job. Let's leave Peter. Let's go to Jeremiah chapter 16.
Still on Deuteronomy.
Hold Deuteronomy. We got to make it back to Deuteronomy.
Jeremiah what?
Jeremiah chapter 16, not 9. Jeremiah 16:10. I want it. What is it?
Carm.
You want it? Oh, yeah, I want it. It's Jeremiah.
I'm dying if there's something.
Okay. You want one?
You want another?
Yeah, this thing frozen.
Can you give me another water, please?
I was about to drink yours so many times.
No, hard for you to start talking.
It's Jeremiah.
No, wrong.
It's Jeremiah 16:10.
And it shall come to pass when thou shalt show this people all these words, and they shall say unto thee, wherefore hath the Lord pronounced all this great evil against us?
All right.
Or what is our
looking? Right.
Somebody asked me that one.
I got somebody don't want to believe it. Right. I told him, see, the truth is, we the Jews, We the Israelites. That's why these things is happening. Right? So what she said was, I just can't believe that if we God's people, that he would make all this happen to his people. So in reality, translation, what she's saying is, read that again.
And it shall come to pass when thou shalt show this people all these words, and they shall say unto thee,
So I showed her the words, and what they say unto you?
wherefore hath the Lord pronounced all this great evil against us?
Why would God pronounce all this great evil on his own people? That just don't make sense.
Or what is our iniquity?
Right? What did we do wrong?
Or
What we gonna say?
sin? Or what is our sin that we have committed against the Lord our God?
Mm-hmm.
Then shalt thou say unto them, because your fathers have forsaken me, saith the Lord.
Did it say because you?
Your fathers.
He said because your fathers have forsaken. Let's go back to Jeremiah chapter 16, verse whatever we on, probably verse like 11 or something.
Are we holding this stuff?
No, you can get rid of you can get rid of Ezekiel and you can get rid of Exodus. This is Jeremiah chapter 16, probably about verse 11. All right, we're reading about the people. You know what I'm saying? When he show them these words, they're gonna be asking, why would God put this on us? Jeremiah is supposed to tell them, because your fathers, right? Your ancestors.
Me.
All right, your ancestors did this. Let's see what else he said though. He had a lot more to say than that.
Then shalt thou say unto them, because your fathers have forsaken me, saith the Lord, and have walked after other gods, and have served them, and have worshipped them, and have forsaken me, and have not kept my law. And ye have done worse than your fathers, for behold.
And he said, ye did what?
Worse than your fathers.
So what category would that put in? We talked about a few different types of kids, right? We talked about the father, just man, right? He has a son, unrighteous. And then he has a son, the unrighteous man has a son that's just, right? Because the unrighteous man, when he had a son, his son looked at him and was like, no, I'm not going to do what my father did. So if our fathers messed up, and then Most High God told us, well, we did worse than our fathers. That means we didn't look at our fathers and be like, no, I'm not going to do that. We looked at our father and like, I like that. Let's see where else we can take it. Right? So that put us in a different category. So now the soul that sinneth shall do what?
Die.
That's it. Keep going.
Ye have done worse than your fathers, for behold, you walk every one after the imagination of his evil heart,
Right?
that they may not hearken unto me.
So you ask these people, well, see, I couldn't serve a God that does this, or serve a God that does that, right? Or, well, see, I believe in God, but not really the God of the Bible. I don't know. I just have my own view of my own higher power of what I think God is. What do they serve?
The imagination of his evil heart.
The imagination of their own heart. Right? The God is not based off anything. You hear a lot. I mean, smart people. I mean, they just smart. No, see what I do, brother. See, you got to look at them. Have you read the Sumerian tablets? So you got to read. You don't even know. You just raised off of the Bible. That's stuff they brainwash you with. But I mean, you got to read the Sumerian tablet, the Quran. You got to go to Egypt and read. You haven't been to Egypt? Oh man, you ain't even been. Trust me, bro. You ain't even know nothing yet. Smart. And guess what their idea of God is? All these different religions, they just chip. Well, see, I like the Greek gods. I like this part of the Greek gods. And I like this part of the Egyptian gods. And I like this part of the Sumerian gods, this part of the Bible God. And just mix it all together. And this is my idea of God. Imagination of their own heart. Right? They're not going to take any one of these sources and say all of it is true. Because if they do, they're going to look retarded. So they take the little bits and pieces that they like the most. The things in life that they like the most, they piece it together and create their own reality. Right? This is an imagination. Keep going.
Therefore will I cast you out of this land into a land that ye know not.
Yeah, therefore I'm going to do what to you?
Cast you out of this land into a land that ye know not. Neither ye nor your fathers, and there shall ye serve other gods day and night, where I will not show you favor.
So now let's talk about our history. Where are we at right now? Zedekiah, what happened to him?
That boy.
I remember what happened to Zedekiah.
That gate is dead.
Huh?
He that hath Even what he has shall be taken.
Oh, right.
What happened to what was taken from Zedekiah?
Man,
Something
technically.
specific. I don't remember.
Give me a hint.
It had to do with his face.
Oh, that's his eye. He couldn't see, even though he could, or he would be taken away and then just be rotten, right?
To Babylon.
Yeah, he wouldn't even see it.
You gouge that boy eyes
All right.
out.
So Zedekiah was taken, say it again, to where?
You ever seen Kill Bill when she was fighting that girl and she
Who prophesied these things? Jeremiah did, huh? So what is he talking about right now? Read that last part again.
Therefore I will cast you out of this land into a land that ye know not, neither ye nor your fathers, and there shall ye serve other gods day and night. There I will not show you favor.
So is Jeremiah talking about that right now?
No.
Why would we say that?
Did he say something a little different?
Because they knew Babylon.
They knew where Babylon was. Remember, the Babylonians came to him.
Josiah.
Right?
I mean,
They came to Hezekiah.
Hezekiah.
All right, remember the Babylonians came to Hezekiah. Hezekiah showed them everything that was in this place.
Oh, yeah.
All right? And even before that? No, not before that. Not before that, yeah. But they came and showed them everything that was in this place. They knew where Babylon was.
They knew it.
We came from Babylon, our fathers. Right? Babylon is where Abraham came from, that area. All right?
Or the Chaldeans.
You had Babel, right? The Tower of Babel. That's what Babylon was. Right? Or the Chaldeans. Right? So this is where we came from. We came from these. He said, neither who would know?
Neither you nor your fathers.
He said, neither you nor your fathers will know. Our fathers knew Babylon. So this is how we know this wasn't talking about the Babylon exile. We knew Assyria. Right? So we know this wasn't talking about the Assyrian exile. How do we know we knew Assyria? Who went to Assyria? What Hebrew went to Assyria?
Israel.
What prophet?
Nineveh.
What prophet went to Assyria? Okay.
Jonah.
Paul.
Jonah. Right? Jonah went to Nineveh. So,
Where did Paul
Assyria.
go?
Huh?
Where did Paul go?
Paul went to a lot of places.
This is way after.
But yeah, this is before Paul. It's way before Paul. So we know Jonah went to Assyria, right? He went to Nineveh. So we knew that land. So now our two captivities, we went to Egypt, right? Egypt happened way before this. Now we have Assyria that happened just before this, and we have Babylon that's pretty much happening as he speaks this, right? All these are places that we know. He said this is gonna happen in a land that our fathers nor we will know. Yeah, just like we were talking about earlier. You had these kids in Baltimore, right? You had you have pastors out there, right? You have all these people. You even have some Hebrews out there, and they trying to preach, and they trying to spread their truth, right? And all these different things. And the thing, it appears righteous. It seems right? Especially you get in the big moment. You had a CNN camera in front of you. You can sit there and be like, I just think all this violence is the wrong way to do it. Young Black America, we should do it this way. We should do it that way. Martin Luther King said this. Martin Luther King. And so you appear to be righteous, right? And then I come along and I say,
They don't want to say what Jesus said.
Well, they might even say what Jesus said.
Martin Luther King.
They might even say what Jesus said. They might pick and choose and say what Jesus said, and it appears to be righteous on TV, or it appears to be righteous when you're standing out there, right? And it may seem like me, I come along and I say, since they quote in the Bible, right? I might say some of the same things. So it's like, well, you guys are in agreement. Y'all pretty much agree. But then we look at it and be like, well, no. What day you go to church on Sunday? I don't understand that, right? So these little things start to become hairy. But then on the surface, they seem little. Oh, y'all just disagreeing about the day. I don't think God worried about the day. The only reason we wouldn't think that because we don't know, right? And so from the surface, when you don't know, all these things seem small and minuscule. When you start to know, a lot of the things that we even talk about now that are serious to us now, when we started a year ago, when we started, or however long, 3 years ago, 4 years ago, when we started these Bible studies, these things wasn't a big deal to us. But we look at them now, it's like, man, this is a big deal. Right? It's a big deal because we see it. Now we start to know God, and he starts to reveal these things to us, and it's a serious task for us, right? And that's why you see these people standing out there, and they're getting on TV, and it seems like it's bickering and fighting within. But all it is different denominations, right? And the outsiders can't understand it because they don't understand the intricacies of God. They don't understand. They don't care about none of it. All they look at is God is this figure, Jesus is this figure who's supposed to be all peace. He's supposed to love everybody. So if you come in and saying anything different than that, who's the enemy? It's the one who's saying that, well, no, that's not our hearts become hard to, right? And then we look at these people and because our hearts are hard, we don't hear God and God doesn't hear us. So we make all this noise. We get our kids getting shot. The whole time these things is happening. The man walking down the street, according to what they say, he's running down the street and they stop him, grab him. They say they tasered him, or people say they tasered him, pulled him up. They described it as a pretzel. They say he wrapped him up, had his legs all to his back, had his hands in the back. And you can kind of see it in the video. Got their knees on his back, severed the man's spine. And then try to say that he had a knife on him. Is the reason why. So you mean to tell me this man is running? You a bicycle cop. This man is running. And you saw a knife on him. You said, stop the presses. I need to tackle him. What sense does this make? It doesn't make any sense at all, right? No sense at all. So then we get outrageous, right? People start to freak out. People start to get angry. Little kids start to throw rocks, right? Then what do the mamas do? Y'all hear about the mama that went out there and beat her kids up?
I watched that video. I thought it was fine. Huh? Now she's being like, she's like, they're gonna like arrest her or something. Child Protective Services is after her.
I heard she was a hero.
Well, that's why I saw that. But today they posted that Child Protective Services saw the video and now she's being charged with all this stuff for beating on her son and on national television.
We can't get away from it. At first they had her as a hero, right? I feel better about that though.
Really?
Yeah, I feel better about it. At least they being consistent. What happened to Adrian Peterson?
Yeah, buddy.
Right? He beat his kid. Oh no, oh my God, I can't believe it. Then she started beating her kid in the middle of a riot. And see, and you need more on the news. White people, you need more mothers like this because my son been out there with
Lying. Them white kids is bad, bro. I'm a school bus driver. I know them white kids bad.
Like, you wouldn't have busted a grape. Had you seen this in real life in a different situation, you'd be, I can't believe it. I just can't. I mean, you don't need to do that to your kids. We do need to do it to our children. We absolutely need to do it to our children.
They could lock me away, bro.
She could have got in. She was
go to Job. Job chapter 33.
Yeah, his video. Trying to block the
All right, Job chapter 34. Elijah, that's what I'm trying to get to.
Some of the other people were saying that by doing that, we are emasculating our boys.
I don't know what they talking about.
They embarrassing them.
Look at that boy Adrian Peterson for whooping his kid, but all these players that be on these drugs and be beating on these women, they get all the playing time.
So what, 30?
This is Job chapter 34.
34 what?
Needed his butt whooped.
How are people going to work while all that time?
A lot of them are. That's why stuff got moving. That's why stuff got moving because a lot of people aren't. A lot of stuff getting shut down out there. That's why things change. That's why they charge the cop. Yeah, they talk all that mess. This stuff irritates me. This stuff just irritates me. You hear these people on talk TV. I mean, this is just not to do it. I mean, they always want to bring up Martin Luther King. But what do you think about when Martin Luther King told you? I mean, he said peaceful protest. I mean, that's what Martin Luther King would have done at peace. Martin Luther King wouldn't have shot him in the back either. Why bring up Martin Luther King to the cops? Why did never in a conversation for the cops? Nobody interviews the cops. Nobody want to talk to the cops. What would Martin Luther King have done? But as soon as you talk to the black kid that's mad about something, this is not how Martin Luther King would have done it. He wouldn't have wanted it to be this way. Care nothing about no Martin Luther King. I don't care nothing about you.
I can't even follow it half the time. It's just.
Got shot too.
They shot him.
Shot him. He ain't do nothing to nobody.
Shot the man. But these are the people that's trying to. No, don't have a violent. Oh, well, that's real convenient for you. That's real convenient for you to travel land and sea take me out of my land, bring me here, whip my butt for hundreds of years. And then when I start reacting to it, because I'm just now starting to feel equal, you give me a black president, I still can't get justice. And my president is black. Baltimore, almost all the elected officials are black. Half of the police squad is black. And you still have white cops that do these things.
Baltimore, black city, bro.
All black, bro. All black. And we still can't get justice. Right? We have to riot. And they try to tell us to protest peacefully. Protest peacefully. They were protesting peacefully, I believe, for weeks. Right? They were even protesting in Baltimore for Ferguson. Peacefully. You never heard about it. Never heard about it. Nothing got done. They have one of the highest police brutality payouts in the country because the police are always brutalizing people, right? Never hear about it. Guess when you do hear about it? When they protest and break some stuff. When white people can't get to where they need to go. Where the Mexicans can't get to, or the Latin people can't get to where they need to go. Where the Germans and all these other races, when they start holding their stuff up, that's when it's a problem. Oh, I can't believe this is an outrage. I mean, this is not the way to do it. The cops got charged, though, didn't they? Let's think about the places where we had peaceful protests. When did anything happen? It was peaceful in Watts at first. Rodney King, it was peaceful then. Cops didn't get charged. Then the riots broke out. Came back and they charged the cops. This peaceful protest, that don't have any results. And they know it doesn't have any results, but it benefits them, right? You can shoot us in the back, run us over. Another guy got ran over with a police car out of nowhere. Just came and ran a man over, right? So you can run us over with a car, shoot us in the back, right? We have to have every ounce of evidence. No matter what video we show them, you never know what happened before the video started. It's always gonna be before the video started.
So something needs to happen before the video started for this cop to be cool with running this dude over.
Yeah. Well, no, it's justified. He's running away, me shooting him in the back. Because what needs to happen for that to be right? And put it in the book. I want y'all to put it in the law books. If this happens, they're not gonna put it there because they know it's not just. Meanwhile, you have a white man that's literally with a weapon walking up to the cop saying, "Shoot me." They talk the man down. You got another white man on YouTube, got not a shotgun, a rifle in his arm. Old man sitting there saying, "I'll shoot all you blanks and this, that, and the other." The cop comes over, sits next to the man in the grass, and has like an hour talk with the man with his gun still in his hand. But this stuff is crazy. But then they tell us we don't see the things that we see. So what happens when you have a lion? What does God call us?
What?
What does God call us? Oh, I wish I remember what it was. He called us Ariel, a lioness.
Ariel.
This is what our people are, right? Lions. So what happens when you have a lion and you just poke the lion? I mean, just keep poking the lion. Keep poking the lion. Lion try to tell you, "Man, leave me alone. It ain't nothing happening to you." Keep poking the lion. The lion get mad. "Oh, I told you, see, damn lion, shoot the lion." Now they have and that's all they're doing. It's cruel. This stuff is wrong. And it's cruel to put us in this position. They keep tampering with us, keep messing with us. And when they react, they feel justified saying, "See, they're thugs." We're thugs. The president, our own president, called them thugs. When did he call the white man that shot up the Colorado Theater in Batman? Right? When did he call them thugs? Sandy Hook. When did he call the people that shot up Sandy Hook thugs? All these white people doing all this shit, when were any of them called thugs? Never. Now it's a big discussion. Well, technically, the definition of thugs is a criminal, and then they're being criminal. I'm not saying the definition is wrong. Y'all right about the definition. I'm just saying, why is it only applied in this situation? We got a lot of criminals. Let's call them thugs. Let's make it official. Let's call everybody thugs. I don't have a problem calling thugs a thug. I have a problem with y'all calling picking and choosing. This has negative connotation. We know what thug means for us, right? We look at these things. They don't want to talk about none of this stuff. They don't want to talk about none of the stupid riots that white people have for no reason over soccer games,
yeah,
over a pumpkin celebration,
killing each other over soccer games.
Look this stuff up. I was looking at this article. It was a pumpkin celebration. They burnt a bus, a city bus. Like, that's crazy. It's insane. Nobody gets outraged about that. That don't make national news. Nobody gets called a thug.
The FBI admits to falsifying data for hair follicles for thousands of criminals or people who they condemned as criminals. They admitted and said we kind of leaned our findings of the hair follicles to match the prosecutors, right? So the prosecutors that have a better case. So they lied. They lied so the prosecutors to be able to convict whoever they wanted to convict. Where's the outrage? Nobody gets mad at this. We shoot down some buildings because y'all been lying on us and doing all these things to us for this long. Nobody says anything until we do something, right? In no way am I condoning violence. In no way am I doing anything. That I don't even have to say that part. What I'm saying, I'm not condoning violence on either side. I'm not condoning violence or sin or anything on either side. But it's convenient for them to pick and choose when they want to talk. Where are we at? Job 4. Job 34. Job 34 verse, let me see. Job 34 verse 31.
Surely it is meet to be said unto God, I have borne chastisement. I will not offend anymore.
What does meet mean?
Appropriate, good.
He said, surely it's appropriate. It's right. Right? He said, surely it's appropriate for me to do what?
Verse 1.
This is verse.
Oh, surely it is meet to be said unto God, I have borne chastisement. I will not offend anymore.
Right? He said it's appropriate for us to say, you know what, God, whoop my butt. I'm not gonna offend no more. I'm gonna leave that alone. Right? God got me. I'm gonna leave that alone. He said that's appropriate for us to say that. Keep going.
That which I see not, teach thou me. If I have done iniquity, I will do no more.
He said, give me a whooping for the stuff I don't see. He said, if I don't see it, teach it to me. Keep going.
That which I see not, thou teach me. If I have done iniquity, I will do no more. Should it be according to thy mind, he will recompense it, whether thou refuse or whether thou choose, and not I.
Right? He said, is it going to be according to what you think, how you think it should be? I mean, this is how I picture God. I just can't see a God that would do this. Should it be according to your mind? Should it be according to what you see? He said he's going to give it to you whether you refuse it or whether you don't refuse it. Read that part again. I love it.
He will recompense it, whether thou refuse or whether thou choose.
All right, it don't matter what you talk about. He's still going to give it to you just like he said he's going to give it to you. Is it going to change because we don't see? I just can't see a loving God, his own people. So you trying to say we Hebrews. Okay, I can go with that. We Hebrews. But you trying to tell me that's the reason why God allowed all this stuff to happen to? I just can't see him doing this to his own people that he chose. That just don't make sense to me. Do you think because you don't see it that your kid won't get shot? Like, do you think that changes anything? Do you think God, well, she doesn't see it. He doesn't see it. So I'm not going to let this happen. He's going to give it to you whether you refuse it or whether you choose it. Period. It's going to happen. It's not going to change a bit. Not going to change a lick. And that's why we whoop our kids. The same reason why God whoop us. Right? Because he said it's appropriate for me to say, I'm born this year. I got that whooping. It's appropriate. I ain't going to do that no more. I bet you I won't do it no more. Because I got that whooping. That's appropriate. This whole book is full. What is it? Spare the rod?
Spare the rod and you hate your son.
He said, spare the rod, you hate your son. What is a rod?
Switch.
A switch.
How can we prove that?
Blade.
The stick.
Moses had a rod.
Moses had a rod. I'll do you one better. Aaron had a rod. Find where Aaron had a rod. What is that? Numbers?
Numbers.
This is Numbers.
And he smacked it against the ground.
No.
Ever.
Was it when he turned into a snake?
No. That's
this
Moses.
is
This
Numbers.
is Aaron's rod. Aaron's rod.
30.
Something special
Is it
happened
30?
to Aaron's rod.
It's not 30, bro.
Yeah.
So Numbers, this has to be, so we know we got Balaam. Balaam is around the 30s. It has to be before Balaam, right?
Yes, it is.
Or is it after Balaam?
It's before.
Find that for me.
Well, we got 30. Is that what she said?
Okay.
It's not 30.
Probably like
Balaam is 30 something.
We're looking for
Korah's
Korah's
rebellion.
It's gonna be the
16,
next
bro.
chapter, I think.
It's chapter 16.
No, it's 17. The budding of Aaron's rod.
There we go.
All right, 17.
Chapter 17, verse 1.
And the Lord spake unto Moses, saying, Speak unto the children of Israel, and take of every one of them a rod according to the house of their fathers.
So it's a rod, right? We don't know what a rod is. All we're looking at is just a rod. We're gonna use what we're about to learn here to try to determine what a rod is.
Of all their princes, according to the house of their fathers, 12 rods. Write thou every man's name upon his rod.
Mm-hmm.
And thou shalt write Aaron's name upon the rod of Levi. For one rod shall be for the head of the house of their fathers.
Mm-hmm.
And thou shalt lay them up in the tabernacle of the congregation before the testimony where I will meet with you.
Mm-hmm.
And it shall come to pass that the man's rod, whom I shall choose, shall blossom and will
Shall
make
do what?
blossom
So what is this rod then?
like a
The flower.
tree.
What blossom? What could you have that will blossom?
Tree.
Like
The
a
tree.
tree, yeah, like twigs.
It's a switch,
Oh, it's a switch.
right? It's a stick, a branch. Go to Proverbs chapter 24. Proverbs chapter 23, rather. Verse 14.
My mama had a choice tree right in front of the apartment, and
Oh,
it was
God, you
nothing
get
but
smacked up with Aaron's rod all the time.
it was nothing but a real
Yeah,
quick
but you
walk
can't
to
pick and
snatch
choose
one off.
pieces of the Bible you wanna apply.
Nope, you sure can't.
So that's why you got the iron and
I used to get that switch, bro.
iron, baseball bat, broomstick.
I'm proud to say I never got that switch.
I never got any of that.
That's because y'all ain't no,
Yeah.
y'all Gentiles. Y'all,
They got the switch.
I got that switch. That thing hurt. Belt ain't got nothing on the switch.
I never got no switch.
Ain't necessary.
My mom was,
I never had that.
my mom was quick to get that switch.
Okay,
This is Proverbs chapter 23, verse 14.
With a broom, that's the closest.
That's it.
Yeah.
You type of stick,
I wasn't with it.
all of that's a rod.
extension cord, the belt with the crochet.
She knows
the
nothing
braid
about what she's
leather
talking
one?
about.
The little braids on you?
And Melania ain't get no whoopings either. Thou shalt beat him with the rod and shalt deliver his soul from hell.
Right? This is what Proverbs said. Look, Proverbs said what?
14.
Withhold not correction from the child.
Right? He said you should read that part again. This is Proverbs chapter 23, verse 14. And
Yeah.
make sure you gotta make sure Latasha gotta make sure we reading out of the Bible.
Don't call me by my government name.
Oh, my fault.
We gotta make sure Latasha.
Thou shalt beat him with the rod and shalt deliver his soul from hell.
He said you beat him with the rod, you deliver his soul from hell. All right?
That's how hard you should beat him.
That's not, it didn't say nothing about how hard you beat him. Right? I don't want to put no words down.
But no, I'm saying.
Now, me
deliver
personally,
his
let me tell you how I
soul from
personally
hell.
interpret this. You know what I'm talking about? You know what I'm saying? I ain't gonna put no words on it. But my personal Jesus tells me, be his butt good. You know what I'm saying? I ain't gonna put no words in there. No, it don't tell you nothing how hard. So let's go to 19, Proverbs 19.
Shanice,
Proverbs 19, 18.
take the blanket to Melania for me. The baby's blanket.
It's Proverbs 19, 18. See what you got to say here. Solomon believed. Who wrote Proverbs?
No, bro.
So, hey,
All that's New Testament. We're in Old Testament
David.
right now.
No. Close to it.
David wrote Psalms.
Yeah.
Right, David did
And
write
that's
a song.
before Proverbs, so I would think it was David.
That's fine to think that.
Solomon, the son of David.
There you
Solomon,
go.
right? The son of David wrote it.
Close.
Right, wrote all.
Father.
He wrote most of it. He didn't read all of it. Wrote it right. He didn't write all of it.
Lemuel
So
wrote
technically it
31.
was David.
No, 30.
31, I think. The last one, whatever it is.
31 and then 30.
Solomon.
Does that come from somebody's mind?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Solomon.
This is Proverbs chapter 19, verse 18, I think.
Chasten thy son while there is hope,
He said, do it. He said, do it while it's hope.
and let not thy soul spare for dying.
So Adrian Peterson was blameless, right? He was blameless. He was too young. He said, get him while it's hope. right? It's a whole lot of hope when they're young. All right, the one when the mom beat her up, man, she had a teenager. It might not have too much hope with that one. Right? Mom got out there. He more righteous than she was, right? Adrian Peterson was more righteous than the mama. All right, because he got, I mean, the boy was 4.
I got
She would have beat
4.
her son when he was 4. He probably would have never.
I got the switch when I was 4. I remember.
Right? It was hope.
4 or
It's hope at
5.
that age.
Got
You
that
get it.
switch.
No, that's what I said.
My mom whooped us when I was 4 or 5. I know it. I know exactly the apartment. I still remember the address.
Ain't bad there. It was some hope. It's Proverbs chapter 23, verse 13.
1304 North J Street, apartment E5. That tree was right in front of that thing, too. I'm telling you. Oh, they ain't going over there.
It's Proverbs chapter 23, verse 13.
Withhold not correction from the child, for if thou beatest him with the rod, he shall not die.
He said he'll be all right. Right? You know, I mean, no, don't trust me. Don't withhold the correction from him. If you beat him with a rod, you're not gonna die. Right? This is our Bible talking. Right? But these people, what are they gonna come back and tell us? No, you're not supposed to. How convenient.
Are you gonna make him rebel even more?
Oh yeah, that's what they tell you. No, you're just hardening your kid and you're making them violent. That's right. Right, because my kid who get whoopings, we the ones shooting up schools. And we the ones, you know what? Hitler probably got whoopings is the reason why he killed all those people.
Columbine. And
yeah, we ain't listen to all these people. People violent because they violent. You can get a whooping and be violent, not get a whooping and be violent. Not no study to prove nothing stupid like that. People are bad. That's all. You just got people that got just bad hearts and bad minds. Let's read one more. Proverbs 13. I still want to whoop some butt. Proverbs chapter 13.
Right now.
You know what I'm saying? Proverbs chapter 13, verse 24. Get a little bit of butt whooping in there.
He that spareth his rod hateth his son, but he that loveth him chasteneth him betimes.
He said betimes. That means you looking to get that butt. That's what betimes means. He said you looking for an opportunity. Just okay, you need some chasing. Whack it, whack it, whack it. He said you got to get his butt in betimes. That's some of our problems, right? We get our kids on our time. Bible tells us get them betimes. Every chance you get. I mean, when they mess up, get them. That's a consistency that comes with that.
Yeah, buddy.
Right? When you don't have that consistency, that actually does. You white people, right? It does harden your kids.
I hate when I miss my opportunity.
It's just called. It's called. They got in their psychology books what they teach you.
Each other about missing.
You don't think I be playing, bro? I be looking like
It's a serious thing.
I kind of want him to mess up just so I can let him know at any time I will do this to you.
This
Like,
thing is imminent.
yeah,
Like, this
man.
thing, I want you to just imagine the belt hanging over your head.
all day.
Just all day, just be like,
Don't you do nothing I told you not to.
you know what I'm saying? That thing got to be imminent, right? In psychology, in their psychology books, what they teach, something called conditional. What's it called?
Classical conditioning.
No, yeah, not classical conditioning. What was the other one? I can't even remember it now. What was classical conditioning?
I don't remember, but I know it was like based off tests. Like you give them something to eat, and when they hear a bell, and so every time they hear the bell, they think it's something to eat. But it's worse if you do it once and don't do it ever again.
Right. So basically, they would take rats. I can't remember what this type of conditioning was called, but they would take rats, right? And they would mess with the rats, right? So they would have something on the wall. If the rat climbs on the wall and presses it, then cheese would drop out, right? So the rat would just, rat don't know what he's doing. He's just walking around, this, that, and other. He calls the wall, press the little button, cheese comes out. So he eats the cheese. You know what I'm saying? He doesn't connect the dot. I press this, cheese comes out yet. So then the rat, just walks around. Maybe 2 days later, he climbs up on that same spot, cheese comes out. So then, it's accidentally first time. But eventually, as the rat starts figuring out, every time I press this, cheese comes out. So then the rat will keep on. He'll press it, and every time he get hungry, he'll do it.
right? Well, then they also figured out, well, if you stop it, right? If you stop it where cheese no longer comes out, the rat will try it a couple times, cheese not coming out, the rat will leave that spot on the wall alone, right? But what they figured out is if you take this spot on the wall, right? You press the button, the rat press the button, cheese comes out, right? He pressed the button the next time, nothing comes out. Press it again, nothing comes out. Press it again, nothing comes out. Press it again, cheese comes out. Press it again, nothing comes out. Press it again, cheese comes out. Press it again, nothing comes out. Press it again, nothing comes out. Press it again, cheese comes out. Press it again, cheese comes out. Press it again, nothing comes out. Press it again, nothing comes out. They say if they stop it completely from giving cheese, the length of time that this rat will keep on pressing this button, it'll go forever. Because he's conditioned, sometimes it'll come out, sometimes it won't. So now I'm gonna keep on pressing it because you never know, it might come. That's where gamblers, that's how they get gamblers, right? It's just conditioning. They condition you to think, well, it could come out this next time. That's what happens with our kids, right? We whoop them once, they do this bad thing. We whoop them this time, right? Next time you do it, we don't whoop them, right? Next time you do it, we don't whoop them. Next time you do it, we don't whoop them. He did it again, we get mad. I can't believe, boom, we whoop them. So in their mind, they're looking at, I like doing that. Sometimes it happens, sometimes it doesn't. And that's why it's so hard to break their habits. Because they've been conditioned that, well, this might be the time that I don't get this whooping. Right? It's a lot of times I do this and I don't get a whooping. This might be the time, I got a whooping. All right. Maybe next time. And it becomes a gamble for them. Right? And that's why you see a lot of these kids taking these chances and trying us because we're not consistent in our discipline. Even if it's not whooping. Whatever the discipline is, when you choose it, it's important to be consistent with it. Every single time that they do it, you have some set discipline and you do it, right? And that way, when they have it in their mind, they're conditioned to think and know when I do things that are not right, bad things happen, period. And it carries on. This is why the Most High God is saying, when you get them, when there's hope, there will be hope for them in the end, right? Raise them in a way that you want them to go. And that's where they'll hit, right? I paraphrase the mess out of that, but
raise up a child in a way that he will go, and when he's old, he will not depart from it.
There we go, right? So he's saying that's what he's saying, right? If you
train a child
on their
in the
B
way that
time,
she goes.
right? On their butt B time, every opportunity, just urgent, looking for a reason to give, right? If you own them B times, it conditions them early to where they'll have this understanding. This is this little piece of wisdom. Just based off of experience, I can't do these things. Mom said, don't do that. Dad said, don't do that. When I do it, I get a whooping. They carry that same logic on the life. My boss said, don't do that. No, if I do that, I get fired, right? The police said, don't do that. If I do that, I get fired, all right? A lot of people look at that, so now you just teach them how to conform to society. Yeah, that's exactly what I'm teaching them to do. Exactly what Yahushua said, right? I'm teaching them to do exactly what Yahushua said. Conform to this book, and this book tells us to conform to the rulers at least, right? Not conform to the ways of the world, but we conform to the rulers.
Follow the laws.
All right, that's it.
Have peace.
All right, let's go to Leviticus chapter 26. Try to get up out of here. Mm-hmm. It's Leviticus chapter 26. Verse 38.
Yeah, we was on Deuteronomy like for a long time.
Yeah, we might not get back to Deuteronomy. I want to, but yeah, it's not a whole lot of time.
26?
Mm-hmm.
Verse 26, verse what?
Leviticus chapter 26, verse 38.
And ye shall perish among the heathen, and the land of your enemies shall eat you up. And they that are left of you shall pine away in their iniquity in your enemies.
That sound about right?
Yeah.
We have hundreds of millions of people that have perished in this land. I'm not just talking about just dying of natural causes. Just last year, right, we had a young man hung on a tree. We had another young man hung on a swing set. all this is called suicide. All of it down south, in the places where they historically hung our people. All these are black people. Still happening today. We're still perishing. All right, keep going. And then the rest of us are doing what? Pining away in our iniquity. We killing each other. We killing other people. We gang banging. We lying. We fornicating. We pining away in our iniquity. You have no morals, no self-respect. Just walking around doing whatever is clever, being loud, being obnoxious, and being full of pride. Right? Calling what's right wrong and calling what's wrong right. We grew up our whole lives doing that. Making fun of people because they doing the right thing. All because we've been placed in the situation where we have to make doing the wrong thing feel good, to have our self-esteem high. I'm a gangbanger, so now that has to be the glorious thing to do. Oh, you ain't gangbanging? Oh, man, you a weenie. Right? So now you not gangbanging, you soft. That's bad. Right? You are gangbanging, which is the actual wrong thing. Oh, that's good. Right? I'm the best gangbanger. Right? Oh, no, man. See, me, you know what I'm saying? Everything that's bad. You know what I'm saying? You ain't got no money. See, no, man, you rich. You know what I'm saying? Now it's cool to be poor. Right? Because now I'm poor. I have to make being poor cool. It has to be. Because if being poor ain't cool and I'm stuck here, I have to live with this. Right? So I make being poor cool. What comes along with making being poor cool? Well, getting money now. So getting money illegally. Right? Now, I don't get a job. You know what I'm saying? I'm poor. So I got to get it this way. And that's how all these stigmas, all these things come about. Right? All this stuff is because we're in the land of our oppressor, in the land of the heathen. Right? And we perish. And the rest of us are pining away in our iniquity. Read that part again.
And they that are left of you shall pine away in their iniquity in your enemies' lands, and also in the iniquities of their fathers shall they pine away with them.
Mm-hmm.
If they shall confess their iniquity and the iniquity of their fathers with their trespass, which they trespassed against me, and that also they have walked contrary unto me.
He said if they confess their iniquities and their trespasses, which they trespassed against him. And then also that they've walked contrary. Right? That's what we started off talking about, confessing. Right? We have a situation where we feel it in our heart is condemning us, and then we confess these things. We get it off our chest. You know, this is just not. I shouldn't have done this. I shouldn't have did that. I brought it back. Right? And then he said, then admit that I walk contrary to God. But listen to this next part. This is the part that we all miss.
And that I also have walked contrary unto them.
So what does he want them to confess? Let's go back. He wants them to confess their iniquities, right, and their trespasses, that they trespass against him. He wants them to confess that they walk contrary to him, and also confess that he's walked contrary to us. It seems small, but that's the hardest part.
God love me.
I didn't been through a lot of things, but God has never left my side. These people don't know what they're saying. They don't know what they're doing. And we feel evil, right? They make us feel evil. You're like, no, God ain't been with you. Trust me. Just admit it. God ain't been with you. How you gonna tell me God ain't been with me? Let me tell you something. I know God. I know God has been with me. You gonna try to tell me I was in this? You know what I'm saying? I almost fell out of a tree and killed myself. But by the grace of God, I stopped right before I hit. I'm trying to tell you. I understand you have some experiences. I'm trying to let you know. You need to admit that you walk contrary to God and God walk contrary to you. This is what the book says, right? This is one of the conditions that he's saying that he'll hear us and turn away our captivity. But we don't hear that, right? But we would not hear. So the word of the Lord came unto us a trap, precept upon precept, right? Keep going.
And that I have also walked contrary unto them, and have brought them into the land of their enemies. If then their uncircumcised hearts be humbled, and they then accept the punishment of their iniquity, then will I remember my covenant with Jacob, and also my covenant with Isaac, and also my covenant with Abraham will I remember, and I will remember the land.
So while they protesting out there, while they making all these petitions and doing all these things to try to get the government and the police and the mayors and the governors and all these different people to respond to them, get the news to give them coverage, they gonna succeed for a while. All right, they're gonna get coverage on the news. People going, you already starting to see cops are starting to go to jail. It's not gonna change. Not gonna change a thing. You gonna see these cops are gonna get light sentences, and they still gonna do the same thing. Right? It seems like a lot more black people are getting killed now. It seems like it's getting worse, huh?
That's what I'm saying. You think they'd be more careful now.
Yeah, it seems like it's getting worse. Thing it never changed. It just wasn't on TV. A lot of this stuff just wasn't on TV. You can look up and find. They starting to do searches now. You have a lot of committees that starting to get together to try to find out all the stuff that's been happening for years. And they see the numbers haven't changed. It's the same numbers. The only thing is there's more people whose eyes are on it. Eventually, it's not going to be the cool thing. It's not going to be a trending topic on Twitter, and it's going to go back into the dark. Cops are going to stop going to jail because they're going to be able to keep it all covered, right? And once that happens, everything goes back to normal, right? The only way to get around this stuff is if we admit it, right? And the problem with these people is they won't admit it, right? They won't admit that God is walking contrary to them. They don't have the knowledge to. Nobody taught them that. They taught them that God loves you no matter what you do. He's always by your side. So their whole understanding of God is separate from what is based off of an imagination. Somebody taught them a lie. All right, and that's why we have to be the lights. We have to be the ones that show these things, teach these things, believe these things, and show them in our behaviors. Otherwise, these other people, they're gonna continue to protest things that are not people who are not God. I'm trying to get out of here. Go to 2 Kings 1. 2 Kings chapter 1. Second Kings chapter 1, verse 1.
And it came to pass after these things. Wait, sorry.
Verse 2. Oh, that wasn't it?
Hold on.
Okay. I was about to say, I don't think it starts off that way.
Then Moab rebelled against Israel after the
Verse
death of
2.
Ahab. And Ahaziah fell down through a lattice in his upper chamber that was in Samaria and was sick. And he sent messengers and said unto them, Go inquire of Baal-zebub, the god of Ekron, whether I shall recover of this disease. But the angel of the Lord said to Elijah the Tishbite, Arise, go up to meet the messengers of the king of Samaria, and say unto them.
So watch what Elijah said unto him. So we have Ahaziah, the son of Ahab, right here, right? So Ahaziah, he hurt himself, and he went to go to the king of he went to the Beelzebub, right? The god of Ekron, right? So he could be told what's gonna happen to him, right? And look what Elijah said.
Now therefore, thus said the Lord. Wait. But the angel of the Lord said to Elijah the Tishbite, Arise, go up to meet the messengers of the king of Samaria, and say unto them, Is it not because there is not a God in Israel that ye go to inquire of Baal-zebub, the god of Ekron?
He said, Is it because there's no God in Israel that you went to some other land and inquire of their God? You don't have a God. Right? You going to these other people God, so you don't have a God, is what God is really asking. So you just don't have a God. That's the reason. There's no God in your land, is it? And that's the same way he's looking at us. Right? We ain't here protesting these people, so you just don't have a God. You protested the president. You want him to say something about your situation. You want all these governors. You want the news stations. You want all these people. You don't care what God's saying, right? That's full. Psalms 14. Psalm chapter 14, verse 1.
The fool hath said in his heart, There is no God. The fool.
The fool. It's foolish to say this. What did he say? Where?
The fool hath said in his heart, There is no God.
So did he say it where?
In his heart.
In his heart he said it. So that means he didn't say it with what? His mouth. That don't mean he broke a lie. That don't mean he said, there ain't no God. We know that's foolish. He said the one who said it in his heart. What comes from our heart?
Imagination.
Evil. Right? Or good. Right? All these things come from the heart of a man. So he said, the fool says in his heart, there is no God. We study constantly on what's coming in the mouth. God doesn't care about what's coming out of your mouth. He's talking about what's in your heart. A lot of these people saying it's God with their mouth. Oh, well, there we go. Go to Matthew. This is the last one. Matthew, chapter 21. Let's see how Yahushua feel about what you said with your mouth. I ain't gonna promise it's the last one, but hopefully it is. Matthew chapter 21, verse 28. It should be right after he asked them.
But what think you? A certain man had 2 sons.
Yeah.
And he came to the first and said, Son, go work today in my vineyard. He answered and said, I will not. But afterward he repented and went. And he came to the second and said, likewise.
So y'all see what just happened, right? So he had 2 sons. The first son, he said, go work in my yard, boy. Right? And the son was like, no, I'm not going to do it. But after the pop left and walked away, he's like, man, let me go work in this man's yard. And he actually did. Right? Let's hear about the second son.
He answered and said, I will not. But afterward he repented and went. And he came to the second and said likewise. And he answered and said, I go, sir.
Right? So the second one, he went to him. He was like, go work in my yard. And the second one's like, okay, I'm going to go work and I'll do it right now, as a matter of fact. But then what happened?
And went not.
But he didn't go.
Whether of them twain did the will of his father?
So he said, which of the two of these people did the will of the Father?
They say unto him, the first.
Do y'all agree?
Yeah.
The first. But the first said that he wasn't going to do it with his mouth.
He still did.
Because it was in his heart. Right? And the second one, he said he was going to do it with his mouth. But what happened, Shanique? Because it wasn't in his heart. That's why he told you, a fool says it in his heart that there is no God. These people are foolish, protesting for these people. All this violence, all this stuff that they're doing, I don't care, even whether you do it peacefully or violent, it's foolish. Because all you're saying to yourself is, that ain't no God. It ain't no God. I'm only protesting you because there ain't no God. The reason I'm coming to you is because I don't believe there's a God. I don't have a God to protest. Right? Is it because there's no God that you going to these people and protesting? That you trying to fight for your rights? Y'all know rights in this country. How you gonna say these are God-given rights? What Bible say it is? Where'd y'all come up with this stuff? Unalienable rights. I ain't an alien. Leave me alone. Let's pray out.